Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bravo Tea with the Stay-at-Home Mom. I'm Erica, and I'm ready to talk all things Bravo. Welcome back, everybody. I have some exciting stories to talk about on this episode. I will do a little gossip after I tell you my meet and greet with Teresa Guidice. It was this past weekend. It was so much fun. I made a lot of new friends, some nice business connections while I was there. It was a great event. The restaurant was really cute. It was Sin Restaurant in Philadelphia, so it's kind of like in Fishtown area. Super nice inside. So when we got in, we immediately got our Joseph Anthony gift card with our ticket. So I'm so excited to use that. I can't wait. And then we put our stuff down, and then we went up and got some snacks. They had like a nice little spread, and then they had past hors d'oeuvres, like hot hors d'oeuvres, and then they had all the wine from Briganti Wines that we got to drink, which was so good. I did cave though, and my husband got me an espresso martini, so that wasn't included in the ticket, but everyone was getting them and they looked so good, and I love espresso martini, and I feel like they were really slinging them out, making them good, so I was like, I need to get one of these. So then we all kind of like lined up. Teresa went into like a clear glass wine room, and they had the little like step and repeat, and that's where we were going to take our pictures with her. So when I did this before, you don't use your phone for the picture, so I'm so sad I haven't been able to post the picture of me and her, and I'm like anxiously waiting on my email for that picture. But they take a professional picture and then email it to you. So I feel like that prevents people from up there like fumbling with their phones. And then it's like a guarantee that you get a good picture. Like we all need that nice lighting and like professional photography. So I'm all about that. So we stood in the line, and then it was so nice. So my husband came with me. We each got a Briganti wine bottle, and he got a Pinot Grigio and I got the red wine. And it has Teresa's picture like sketched on it. And then it has her name, and then it has like the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Briganti Wines. So she signed them. And then it was so exciting. I actually brought her some cookies. Shout out Serpi's, one of our local Italian bakeries here. So I brought her some cookies, and I put my podcast sticker on it and put XOXO Erica. And I was like, I just wanted to bring you some cookies from our bakery at home. And she's like, oh, that's so nice. And then I was like, and this is my podcast. I just started in November, and I only say good things about you. And she's like, oh, I'll have to listen to it. Oh, I like that name. And then I was like, yeah, I just got done listening to yours yesterday. And then we took the pictures with her. So I got one of me, her, and my husband. Then I got one of just me and her. And then Mike slipped in, my husband, for one with just her. So that'll be funny to see when that one comes back. But then she was super nice. We both hugged her. But like I said, when I met her before, she was so nice because she's our queen of New Jersey.
I'm a Jersey girl. No one can knock me down.
Which is true. No one can knock her down. And I told her, I said, I'm really excited to see the new season. And she's like, oh yeah, it's coming out soon. We're excited. So I am interested to see it because I feel like when Joe and Melissa did first come on the show, I was a little team Joe and Melissa. But now we are seeing that like Melissa came on behind Teresa's back and like all this other stuff. So she claims this is her like redemption season, and we're going to see some bad stuff about Joe and Melissa. So I'm ready for it because I feel like after everything that woman's been through, she deserves a redemption season. And I just feel like personally, I've met both of them. That was my second time meeting Teresa. Only met Melissa once, but like I explained it before, she was real cold. Teresa isn't like that. And on her podcast the other week when I was listening, her producer mentioned that he's never seen someone be so dedicated to the fans and stay extra time. So at BravoCon, I guess there was so many people there like meeting her, and she takes the time to chit chat with you, which is nice. She stayed 2 hours past when the event was supposed to be over just so she could still meet everyone, because how annoying would that be? Like, you're in the back of the line, the clock strikes whatever hour it's supposed to be over, and you have to leave. She dedicates her time because I think she knows we all dedicate our time to investing in her life, her shows, her brands. And I love that when celebrities do that for us, because at the end of the day, none of these people would be celebrities if it wasn't for us. So I like to see the appreciation when we're in person with them. But then after the meet and greet was over, I was still socializing with everyone, handed some of my stickers out for people to listen to the podcast, got some new followers. So I love to see that. Shout out to all the new followers that I met this past weekend. And shout out to Briganti Wines. Like I said, it was an amazing event. I met the owner, and we're going to do some stuff together. His girlfriend was lovely. Met the marketing guy that's with them, and everything was just really nice. And we're definitely going to go back to that restaurant and eat, because we didn't eat like full meals. We couldn't have it. You had to have a reservation, which now looking back, I wish I did that. I thought we would have just been able to kind of like sit down and get food. But then after everything was over, she sat down and ate food. So we were all still like creeping on her while she was eating. And then I got to give her another hug when she was leaving. So it was just like all around a really good night, and I'm really glad I went. I'm glad I saw it advertised, and it was really nice. I love to go to stuff like that, and I feel like we got so much out of it. So not only did we meet her, but we got all that wine and the yummy food, and then the signed wine, and then like I said, I can't wait to use that gift card. I mean, it's been a long winter. I want to go get like a nice massage. So my husband got the gift card too, so we can go together. So I love that. We go to the Joseph Anthony in Glen Mills because that's pretty close to us. I know they have one in Philadelphia though, but we go to the one in Glen Mills. It's super nice. So that was a lovely event. So on to a little gossip. James Kennedy is in the spotlight this past week because his girlfriend Allie is clearing up the rumors of a physical altercation. So Allie denied all the speculation that she and James got into the physical altercation. This tea was brought up by Teddy Low Budget Mellencamp on Two Teas in a Pod. So Teddy and Tamara shared like a car with James and Allie 2 years ago. I mean, I hate when stuff like this happens. Like, we're talking about something from 2 years ago. It's kind of like we're seeing James doing well on the show right now. So do we have to knock a man when he's down? I mean, of course, if something happened and it was terrible, it needs to come to light. But I think him and Allie are really happy. And I don't think she's a clout chaser. Like, she's being mistreated behind closed doors and just staying with him so she could be on TV. Like, she does not strike me as that type. So she went on Sheena's podcast Shenanigans to address the rumors. She said that they were in the car with Teddy and Tamara. So that was after the MTV Movie Awards, and they were going to Tom Tom. But so they were leaving like an after party. And Teddy and Tamara claim that they were getting into a physical altercation and they had to pull the car over and they had to get out of the car. Allie said, yes, we were all in the car together and her and James did get in an argument, but there was no like physical assault. And she's like, they didn't have to get out of the car and separate us. So I don't think any of this is really that true. She said that they were drinking and nothing like physically happened, but they did get in the argument, and they both decided that like when they drink too much that they sometimes like would get like that. So I think that's why they've cut back on the drinking, especially James. Like, he's saying he never wants to drink again. I think it's because he realizes, the show is doing really well. My DJ career is really taking off. I just bought a house. I have a really great girlfriend that I'm happy with. I got my doggy back. Like, drinking just kind of screws things up for me. So he's making his own self choice to stop drinking, he said on the show. And I think that's good because Raquel did give him an ultimatum, which sometimes we do need to sit people down and say, hey, if you don't cool it, like, I'm out the door. But it's not good to tell people, if you don't do this for me, I will leave. And then it's kind of like they'll throw it in your face all the time. Like, well, I stopped doing this because of you. And even though I didn't want to. So he's now come to the realization that alcohol is just not mixing well with him, which I think is good. And you know what? All we can do is believe that they are happy. And if Allie says it's not true, I don't really know how much we can believe out of Teddy's mouth anyway. I feel like she just wants people to listen to her podcast. Because also, girl, you're talking about something from 2 years ago. Like, let's just stick to current tea, please. But Raquel is always taking to talking about her old castmates. She walked in New York Fashion Week. And when they get her on the mic, of course, she's talking about Tom and Vanderpump Rules. I mean, this woman might as well have come back on the show. At this point, it's pretty crazy. She said for her mental health, she needed to get away from these people and the show. But yet, every time she's on her podcast that I cannot listen to again, but I basically get the spark notes via the internet, I feel like, and put two and two together. Every damn episode is about Vanderpump Rules and Tom. And she said a long time ago, if she ever did a podcast, she would talk about mental health. Well, I don't think you've talked about mental health or bringing doctors on or psychiatrists or anything. All you're doing is talking about your castmates. Like, she is a chicken, in my opinion, for not going back on the show and facing these people head on and having these conversations face to face with these people. Instead, she's just like, I feel like almost a cyber bully, or what do they call it? A keyboard warrior, whatever that is. Like, when the people would never say it to your face, but they're like big and bad behind the computer and saying it. So I feel like she's just hiding behind her little microphone with her interviewer, because that's the other thing. She has to have someone on the podcast every time, like interviewing her, asking her questions, keeping her on track. So that's weird too. But all she's been doing is talking about Tom, now alleging that she basically called off the engagement because of James being volatile and like violent. She said if a couple people know why she actually called the engagement off, but if she said it like aloud for all of us to hear, it would be life ruining for him. So I don't know. Again, it's like, just be quiet. Like, I'm sure the facility you were in is shaking their head at you, thinking all that work we did here, and you're just out in the world talking about this, stirring up all the drama. Definitely not good for someone's mental health if they need to get away from it. All she's doing is surrounding herself with it. But speaking of drama and relationships that are no more, Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan, as of yesterday, are not following each other on Instagram. So I, of course, I had to take to her Instagram story to see that poll she was doing, and it said, should your friends block your ex? And it was a yes or no. Now, I'm going to say yes on that only if they met your boyfriend like through you. So like prior to you, they had no connection to him, don't know who he is. Then you guys start dating, then they meet him. But if he has done you wrong and you have broken up with him and they were never friends with him to begin with, the loyalty lies with you. So yes, I kind of am like that. Now, if they were like mutual friends, that's a little different. Or if you're like couple friends, like that's awkward, because what's the couple supposed to do? Like just not talk to him anymore for no reason? Like what if she broke up with him or she cheated on him? Like we still don't know what's going on. So it depends on the circumstance, but at the end of the day, if I have to give a black and white answer, I'm going to more lean towards yes. So I did hit yes in the poll, and yes was winning, by the way. But yeah, very interesting. She deleted all their pictures together, put that up, and then, yeah, unfollowed him and he unfollowed her. So I don't know what happened. Like when stuff like that happens, I need my detective hat on, Law and Order theme song behind me, hunting down to see what's going on. So we'll keep our eyes and ears out for all the news relating to that. But not really much else happening. I mean, off topic of Bravo, but how about the Super Bowl? Taylor Swift's man winning. They're cute. I mean, I feel like people give her so much garbage. I read one guy is so stupid. He filmed himself. He said, Taylor, I just went into Target, bought your album, and now I'm lighting it on fire because you need to stop going to the NFL games. And I'm like, dude, you're the dumb one. You just bought her album. So that means you gave her money. So at the end of the day, that means you're actually supporting her. It's like, how goofy are you? Even if you went on Google and typed her in, printed her picture out and burned it, you'd still be supporting her because you're putting her in the algorithm of Google and giving her like more searches. So people are just need to leave this poor woman alone. I mean, I think she is a nice young lady, works hard, humble, which I like that because some of these celebrities can be so self-centered. It's terrible. And you could tell they really love each other. They were partying it up because the time difference is good. So, like, I feel like when the Super Bowl was over in Las Vegas, it was like 9 o'clock. So they were like, I was like, they are definitely going to hit the club, do some dancing, which they did. We saw them at the Wynn in Las Vegas, dancing to Taylor's music, of course. That has to be funny, too. Like, when you're a musician and you're out and they're playing your music. And, like, it's like, do you just, like, break out and start, like, singing it over top of your own voice? Like, a very, very fun looking, though. So that's nice. Congratulations to the Chiefs for winning. But let's talk about that halftime show real quick. Reliving all my 8th grade dances with Usher. I was, like, in the living room, like, yeah, yeah. I thought it was great because before then the game was pretty boring. Like, no one was scoring or doing anything. The commercials were lame as well. So I was like, oh my God, can we just get to halftime? So I knew Usher was going to bring it though, because still has a great voice. He still literally looks the same from when I was a child too. I had to like Google his age because I'm like, how old is he? So for anyone that didn't Google it, even though it said that was like the #1 Google search last night, he is 45. He looks amazing for 45 because, like I said, he literally, I feel like, looks the same from when I was a child. And I was listening to You Got It Bad on, like, Now 5. Remember those albums with all the, like, top music? But, yeah, his dancing was great. Then he had, like, all the people come out, like Ludacris and Lil Jon. Like, so that was fun. And then the game started to pick up. But all in all, the commercials were lame. Even though our girl Teresa Giudice did make another commercial appearance. So it wasn't like a filmed commercial she did, but they showed her table flipping scene on like a TV because it was like a commercial for like DirecTV or TV or something like that. I was like in and out, like, you know, we have kids, so I was like not totally glued to the TV because the only time I was glued to the TV was for halftime to watch. But it was fun. It was, we just stayed in, didn't really do much when you have kids. We don't have like a Super Bowl party because also I'm like, does anyone want to come over and hear our kids like scream in the middle of the game? I mean, unless they have kids too. But then if you had a bunch of kids, like no one could even hear the game. But I will be doing my recap later this week. I'm going to have a friend come on, so I'll have a guest, and we'll be recapping Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Vanderpump Rules. So excited for that. But as always, this was so much fun, and you can find me on Instagram at Bravo T with the Stay at Home Mom, Spotify, and Apple. Until next time, see ya.